Well, well, hello there, my friend.
I'm sacred tobaccoing everyone.
Oh gosh, I wish I could do that right now. I should be burning some sage or something. Light
Burn
a
some sacred
candle.
tobacco. Seriously, what do you don't need to inhale it. You can just suck on it and just blow it and blow it over you and blow it down your shirt and
Hey
it
Seth.
really it helps.
Hey Seth, get me a lighter.
Like
Oh,
I was saying, since I stopped marijuana,
yeah.
thank you, Ayahuasca, for supporting me in that after 27 years of chronic use. Um,
Cheers to
and
that.
being on dieta. I'm not doing much, not that I did a lot of mushrooms or microdose or anything like that, but I have.
Yeah.
Um, it just a lot of people who have chosen ayahuasca as their plant medicine, their grandmother of all medicines. They do indulge in sacred tobacco, and as we talked about, it was a medicine. It is a medicine before the industry got a hold of it and put so many chemicals in it, and just like every fucking other thing out there, like so. I do indulge. I inhale, and I do take it before I take my plant medicines every couple of days to just clear stuff out. And when you go to ayahuasca ceremony, the shaman also, as well as the assistants, they will be lighting up. He'll blow it on you, and they also use it to help clear their own stuff because as assistants, they're on these very strict dietas. No sugar, no salt, no red meat, no pork, no processed foods, no dairy. It's just the rawest
So,
food
so
you can
Sheila,
imagine.
Sheila,
Yeah.
can you explain to me what that is? What journey are you on right now? What's going on with this Yetta, and how do you spell that?
It's diet with an A. So I called it dieta, but it's technically dieta, and it makes me think I'm speaking Spanish.
It's really
so
beautiful, yeah.
so I call it dieta. Um,
Dieta. Okay, so
well,
what is a dieta?
that is, I'm actually not to be touching anyone as well. So it's a social dieta, and it can vary from person to person, as do the plant medicines that you take vary from person to person. Um, I started this adventure years ago. I got that little message, the whispers of ayahuasca, and always was very curious about it. Um, my daughter in July last year, she lives up north, and she went somewhere up north, and she did a couple nights of ayahuasca ceremony. She knew she had something dark inside of her, and she asked to purge. So in ayahuasca, it's clearing traumas and toxins. Um, and she knows exactly, grandmother knows exactly where she needs to go and what you can deal with. Even though you think you might want rainbows and unicorns, you're there for a reason. And so we've all got stuff to heal from. And mine is ancestral, mine is spiritual, mine is physical, mine's all kinds of stuff. Some of it is mine, most of it is not. Because you got to think that if you're here and you're a soul filled person, a human, your DNA goes back to the beginning of time, that your ancestors had to go back to the beginning of time for you to be here. And so, females and males, but females especially, because I'm one, we carry all the trauma from every female that we've ever been a part of. Because when my mom was in her mom's womb, I was in there too. Right. So this is a lot. And I believe that in everyone's lineage, everyone's DNA line, there comes one that is chosen, whatever. And that's not an ego thing at all, because we all have choices. We all chose to be here to end the suffering, to end the trauma, to end everything. So I had, whispers, and that means she's calling to you. Um, we just don't make things up. Even our imagination is real. Our dreams are real. And my daughter started this process in July. She did 2 nights, and she purged a lot. So you can bottom purge or pardon me, top purge or bottom purge. If you do both, it's double glorious, just getting rid of stuff. And so she just knew that there was something dark that she'd been carrying. And so she did a couple nights. Now, when somebody in the DNA line does healing, it ripple effects out. Whether others want to take part in what you're doing, that's not what it's all about. But the ripple effect does happen. So I became friends with a lady who had done probably about 40 ceremonies around the world. She lives about an hour from me. And she said, her and I were talking about her healing adventure. And she said, Sheila, do you know there's one that's not far from you? And I said, no way. Because, you know, to get on a plane and go to Peru with the way the world is and all this, or Costa Rica is just, it's not on my radar. And so, because she had done an intake and trusted these people, I trust her. So I called or emailed, and then I got an interview or a consultation, and it felt really good to me. So I signed up for 3 nights, my first time at the end of November, and ended up doing 4 nights. It's pretty interesting that at least 2 weeks before ceremony, you need to completely clean up your diet. And that includes marijuana, mushrooms, all this stuff. And so I knew November the 8th was coming. And because I'd been a chronic smoker, edible user for 27 years, since I was 30, I knew if November 8th came and I hadn't, if everything had to come to a head on May, or pardon me, November the 8th, and I had to quit everything, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have rebelled against myself. Nobody's telling me what to do, and I wouldn't have done it. So at the end of September, I stopped edibles. I was taking 50 milligrams a night, thinking I needed it to sleep. And I thought, fuck, I'm going to have to sleep on a foamy in ceremony, like for 3 nights. I need to get a grip on this. So I stopped edibles. I stopped smoking during the day, I think about 3 weeks prior to the ceremony. And it made me realize how much I was doing it, why I was doing it. Now, I've utilized it for pain. I've lived in a body of discomfort for most of my life. But I realized that I was doing it out of boredom, and I was doing it because I wasn't dealing with my stuff. And as you can see behind me, it's not that my life is so terrible, because it's not. I have a beautiful life, but I just wasn't dealing with stuff. I was taking the easy way out. So I stopped smoking during the day. I would have it once at night with my husband, and I found I was getting anxiety, which I had never felt with marijuana before. I was high all day, every day long. You wouldn't even know. I was a high functioning cannabis user. And so November the 8th came, and I quit smoking. And like I said, in ceremony, it showed me a lot. It showed me a lot when it comes to my DNA line, why there is darkness. I see a lot of visuals with my mind's eye anyway, and that just, ayahuasca is like psychedelics, is like mushrooms times 1,000. There's a lot that I see, a lot that I'm told. So I decided to do 4 nights, and it was interesting. It was beautiful. It was intense. It was all the things. And I came back knowing that myself have darkness, dark energy that has been passed along generationally. But that darkness feeds off of the THC.
Oh, wow.
So that was a no-brainer to me to no longer indulge in cannabis. Now, cannabis is a great healer. She helped me. I was on 8 different pharmaceuticals at one time. 2 of them were of the oxy family, OxyContin, oxycodone, whatever, for 8 years. I was an addict, actually. And yet I was able, with marijuana, I quit all my pharmaceuticals cold turkey. Now, is that advised? No, people say you're lucky you didn't have a stroke. I say, well, you're lucky I'm here. Had I stayed on the pharmaceuticals, I wouldn't be here. I was having dark thoughts. You know, I went to the doctor, and he said, you know, let me know when you're having some dark thoughts. And so I went there, and I said, you know what, I'm having some fucked up thoughts. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I've got a lot of pharmaceuticals in lethal doses that you've given me. And that's pretty easy to take an easy way out. And he said, you know what? Oh, that's normal. And he wrote me another prescription. And I looked at him and I said, normal? I said, that might be normal for you, but it's not fucking normal for me. So I went home and I quit everything that day, like cold turkey. So cannabis was there to help get me through She's a beautiful East Indian woman laying on the couch in her bra top and tassels until you don't want her anymore. And she will fight for a spot. So it can take about a month to get her physically out of your system, and it could take a year to get her spiritually out. The fact that it's been so easy for me to stop it just tells me ayahuasca is working with me. So both ayahuasca and cannabis are master plants, but you can't do them both. You have to choose which one you want. And I realized that as high functioning as I was on cannabis, it was becoming, I was serving her, she was no longer serving me. So there was a couple times when I got home, my husband still smoked. He was very respectful. He would go outside or go by the fan and above the stove and have a smoke. And but he himself quit about 3 months ago. Like, I didn't ask him. He's on his own adventure in his life. I don't expect anybody to do what I'm doing. No, because that's me being distracted from my own adventure. If I'm, why are you, that's not what it's about. So I'm very proud of him. I've boxed up all my cannabis that was in a big drawer. It was like my own dispensary. I had numerous strains, and it's boxed up and it's in the basement along with all my edibles and all kinds of stuff. So I did another ceremony with ayahuasca in March, and I'm heading in 2 more weeks to do another one. So my
Oh
one
my
in March,
heavens. Really?
yeah, my one in March,
Okay.
I have blockage. I have a blockage of where I can sort of drag this on for months or years if I choose. But they said if you do a dieta, it'll chip away that block every day and make that cement into sand. So when you come to a ceremony, it'll be a little less challenging because nothing has come easy for me. Oh, Sheila, you're the only one in your DNA line that's strong enough to do this. Yes, but can't I just have an easy day? Can't I just have I not done enough? That was my discussion with Source this morning. I was like, fuck, I'm fucking done being, anyway, that's another fucking show probably, but oh my gosh. So with this dieta, I'm on 2 plant medicines that help with things that I need support with. And so it is the no sugar, no salt, no red meat, no pork, no dairy, none of the things, no caffeine, none of the things that I have loved. But the bottom line is, I think the things that are our favorite things quite often might need to go for a while. We become sensitized to a lot of things. And now that I'm looking at packages of what's in stuff, not that I'm eating processed food, but you become aware, fucking sugar and salt is in everything.
Yeah.
Every fucking thing. And believe me, the first week of this, even though I had been cleaning up my diet for a few weeks before my ceremony, I was like, what the fuck am I going to eat? Because at ceremony, they were like, well, if you want to start this, you need to start it with ayahuasca, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I could start it now. Oh, and it's no touching your husband, no kissing. You should be sleeping in separate beds. It's pretty intense. And I was like, well, I could start it now, like on March 23rd, or you know what? I could wait a month and I could start it in April when they do another ceremony. And then I was like, why are you even thinking that way? By April 18th, you could almost be a month in. So I called my husband and I said, this is what I'm thinking. This is what it entails. And he goes, well, come home and we'll talk about it. I said, no, babe, I got to decide like in the next fucking 6 hours. And he has supported me in everything but spray tanning in my life. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So the first week was really tough because my food had no taste. I'm a saltaholic, even though it's Himalayan salt or Celtic salt. I'm a saltaholic, probably more so than sugar, because
So no
I don't know.
salt. No salt.
No, I've had salt a couple times only because I got a headache.
I
And
love salt.
And I have to listen to my body that my
Right.
electrolytes were probably a little bit low.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
I had some salt.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I was having too much salt. I believe all those things were inflaming me. and yeah, I don't know how graphic we want to get about my experience, but I just have to say that the plant goes to where your priority of your body is. And even though there's been more trauma and abuse physically for myself, um, where it needed to go was cleaning me out. And I have now had the most beautiful proper bowel movements at 57 consistently since the end of March that I have my entire life,
Nice.
because there was some stuff that needed to come out that was ancient
Yeah.
and was lining my insides and was probably going to make me extremely, extremely sick as time went on. So I'm grateful for it all. It's been rewarding. It's been challenging. It's been a lot of things, but I'm going May 16th and 17th, and I'm going to close my dieta because it's connected to the shaman. So you just can't quit. You need to make the commitment. And I've decided, Mike and I, my husband, we're going to take it 1 month at a time. Originally, I thought I could do this till June, but I have a very busy June with people and weddings and birthdays and all kinds of stuff. And I decided it felt good to me to end the dieta, close the dieta in May. And then I'm going to take the summer off. I'll probably go back and do another ceremony when I'm called, either September or October. And then, you know, if I can do it, then every 3 or 4 months from there, because this is the healing adventure I've chosen over whatever else. You know, I don't have faith in the medical system anymore. I think the last doctor that cared about me delivered my babies. Other than that, nobody has really cared. You know, they just want me on more pills and pharmaceuticals. And yeah, or no, the doctors at the Kelowna Pain Clinic, called the Bill Nellums Pain and Research Center now, they are amazing. I would say if anybody has, you know, needs a referral from a doctor to see pain specialists, go to Kelowna. They're trained counselors too. They know how to work with people in pain, and they don't administer or they don't prescribe any drugs. It's all, you know, rhizotomies or pain injections or whatever. They're just really good, and they were a huge help to me at the time I needed them too. So here we are with Sheila with the same condition, where I have, well, the biggest thing, I guess, is an S-curved spine where I'm 20 and 37 degrees curved, and I'm expected to be walking like this, and my spine is trying to twist around. And so here I've gone from being on 8 different pharmaceuticals to getting injections, pain injections every 3 months, or a rhizotomy every year, to the last time I did anything was 2019.
Wow.
So I am pharmaceutical free. I am injection free, and I am learning to listen to my body, do yoga. We all get triggers, eh? And when I get irritated with my husband, that's probably my biggest trigger, and he knows that. And he said, "Of course, I'm your biggest trigger. You're with me all the time. I'm the one you're with all the time." But I can just feel shit tightening up, and it's, yeah, that's not his fucking deal. That's mine to work with, and know that I have not restrictions, but sometimes I just have some limitations on how long I can do things. Or but it's all about body movement, body posture, body, you know. So yeah, so as challenging as it is, I'm up for the tasks. I need to move this stuff along in my DNA line. I have passed it on to my daughter. She's aware of things in our DNA line, and this is where it ends. It ends with us.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
So
I've watched you over the years, you know, because you were doing a lot of videos too online and stuff. So, you know, you could see the progression and the growth and the frustration, you know, and the letdowns and the get up again and do it again. And yeah, but I really see that you're really doing the work now. You're really stepping up and facing yourself in the mirror. And I think that's, a lot of people don't want to do that. And, you know, we probably, I don't know if it's a fight on a daily basis almost to choose, you know, to look at those irritants or those people that are pissing us off and look at those as opportunities for growth for ourselves. Like, what's going on here, right? and direct it more back to you, because that's what we're all here for, right? So yeah.
It's been a wild ride, and there comes an opportunity in everyone's life to face their childhood trauma, because we've all got it, and if we don't deal with it, it's going to come up around 40 years old, and if you still don't deal with it, that whisper is going to turn into a scream.
Yeah.
And we continue to distract ourselves. And that's one thing interesting. I think it was easier to stop cannabis than it was to do this dieta, because even though I had quit cannabis, I was still distracting with snacking, with hape, with mushrooms and all this.
100%.
And yeah, this forces you to get real.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
sit with it. Like you were explaining the other day, even when I do a fast, or if I do a bone broth cleanse or something like that, it's amazing how you just really have to stop and think what's going on here, and you just don't even know what to do with yourself. Like you said, there's times that you're just like sitting around, like that's probably the best time to do some Zen swings or jump up and down on a rebounder or something, or distract yourself, jump in a cold pool or something. Those things are really good to shock your system. But, because there's always these vices out there, whether it's coffee, uh, you know, like anything, alcohol, medicinal mushrooms, like all that stuff that you listed are definitely comfort things that people go to. And when you do that, like edit where it's gone, then you have to sit in it and go, okay, what is going on here? I am so fucking uncomfortable.
oh yeah, it's a wild ride. And I think one of my things is, like you were talking the other day on one of your lives about, how you miss your period. And that was one thing I never connected with. Like I worked out with my babies in my two pregnancies. I worked out every day until the day I went into labor. My daughter was 7 days old when I packed her to the gym. My son was 2 days.
Yeah.
I never honored anything. My periods were just an inconvenience to me.
Yeah.
And so years ago, I ended up getting, not only did I get my tubes clamped after my son 30 years ago, but I also had an ablation. So I got the doctor to stop my cycle, and that
What's
I
an
would not
ablation? I don't know what
yeah,
that.
they burn the lining of your uterus.
Oh, God forbid. Oh,
So you
that's.
never have your periods again.
Oh,
So yeah, so now I was completely disconnected from my uterus, from my divine feminine, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, because you need that energy flowing down there. Now I have challenges, and I believe it's because of a lot of things, but
yeah.
because of those choices that I made.
Yeah.
And, so I'm reconnecting with my uterus and loving myself and all this. But today was one of those days where I was like, you know what? Fuck off. Like, I'm fucking done. Like, like yesterday, I actually went and had a nap. I was so fucking not feeling good, which I have never been a napper. And I was like, I need to surrender to this. I went and had a sleep. My back was really fucking sore. And today I'm just like, you know what? I'm calling in Archangel Michael and Metatron and my angels and the light and source to say, I surrender. You know what? I'm not fucking focusing on fucking healing all the fucking time. Here,
Yeah.
you take it over.
You take it over. Yeah. Yeah.
Because at this point, I should be feeling way better in all parts of me. So
Yeah.
what the fuck am I? And I know it takes time. What the
Yeah.
fuck am I doing? I'm a rebel soul.
Yeah.
Not having all the things that I love.
Yeah.
Like, I'm denying myself certain things, and shouldn't I be fucking better by now? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, how much can a person fucking take?
Yeah.
Have I not proven?
Yeah.
But the biggest battle in my life in this lifetime, because I've had many and I've been a warrior in many, if not all of them, is laying down my sword.
Yeah. You have to step down, sit down. Yeah. Be still, surrender. You're a fighter, man. Your spirit is so fiery. Holy macaroni.
But it's because I've taken on this masculine fucking role too, right?
Yeah.
And I think we talked about that a little bit before. I don't want to be fucking masculine.
No.
I don't want to. I want the door open for me. I want
Yeah.
my man to be the protector of the family, and I want him to be the divine masculine. I want to be feminine. I
Yeah.
want to be able to fucking relax in my femininity, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's all up to me.
Yeah.
That's all up to me.
Lay
We
down your
can't,
sword, woman.
the biggest fucking joke the devil ever played was convincing a woman she was needed more outside the home than in it.
100%.
You know,
100%.
women's lib was a fucking the biggest fucking stab to women and families around the world. Yes, we
100.
can do it all, but why? We can do anything, but we don't need to do everything.
No, of course not.
You know, I think, isn't it the male is one and the female is two, and that equals three, the child?
Yeah.
Like we
Well,
need
and
that. That's
you,
where we're most strong.
well, and you sit there and think about our society right now and the, overpowering women and then the weak men. I
Oh,
remember going through all that, a couple of years ago, just going, where are the men? Where are the men? And then I know there's really good men out there, but I also see a lot like, even like when we're thinking about, I was just thinking about, that swimmer in the States who he's a guy and he swam on the girls' team and all this kind of shit. And I thought to myself, where are the fathers? These poor women, these young children are in the change room because they're young adults. And why isn't a man going and making sure that doesn't happen? I am dumbfounded, actually. I am dumbfounded. I had a discussion with one of my sons, Mason, and I was just telling him, I was saying, I should goddamn well hope that you would stand up for your daughter and say, go beep, 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 because no, there's no time for being polite and, oh, people's feelings. Like, I don't know why more men aren't showing up. Like,
I think they went after our men first, Lorna. That's
I
why.
do think
I
so too.
Yeah, and that probably started way back with women's lib. They
I
went after
agree.
our men first.
Yeah.
There's so much estrogen in things that they consume like beer.
Yeah.
Let alone the jibby jabs and all this shit that Lord God only knows does what. But they went after our men first. And that's how you start destroying the family unit, is you go after the protector. But I
Yeah.
think too, when it's in my opinion, when it's, older females, why are y'all fucking swimming? Why aren't y'all fucking walking off?
Yeah, I
Why
know.
how about you just don't participate in this charade? It's
Yeah.
like we've been having challenges with our emergency room. Oh, BC is the only one that hasn't hired back the unvaccinated nurses. So guess what? There's a fucking shortage. And sure, they're working hard. I'm not saying they're not. But everybody's like,
100%.
oh, the poor doctors and nurses. Hey, have you fucking stopped and asked them, are you advocating for your brothers and sisters to come back to work?
Yeah,
So a couple weeks ago, getting all passionate here.
yeah.
There was 9 people with their escorts or people waiting in the emergency room one night, and the doctor came out and said, you're going to have to come back here at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're not seeing you people. Now, why did they all get up and fucking leave? Why
Yeah.
didn't y'all fucking stay there? Start calling Rebel News,
Yeah.
call Global News. We know most of these are just corrupt media, but except for Rebel News. Phone the paper, get on a Facebook Live, fucking do something, and that is your right. They are civil servants. That
Yeah.
is your constitutional right to have access to the medical practitioners and the medicine you fucking need.
Yeah.
Stop playing this game.
Yeah.
Stop. So everybody just needs to stop. But I believe our divine masculines were targeted first, and I believe they are making a comeback.
I
But they're
do
going to
too.
need us to support them doing that.
I think we have to get more into our feminine, and that will make them rise up, right? And we're
100%.
yeah, and we're practicing that every day with our spouses, you know?
Yeah. You know, bring them out. Oh my God, you did such a good job. Like my husband's he builds other people's dreams. He's a custom home builder. And what he creates is absolutely amazing. And when I go up and have a look, which I do every couple of weeks, I'm like, oh my God, you guys have done such a great job. Like these people are so lucky to have you. And that's not even being biased, because there's so many builders that aren't. They
Yeah.
don't fucking care. And
Yeah.
we care.
Yeah.
We care. We want to create something for somebody that is a quality, under promise and over deliver.
Yeah. Well, that's my husband too. I picked a good one. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Because they're younger. No, just kidding. No,
Just
because we
little
just
side
know.
note.
We've been around the block a time or two. We just know.
We have.
Picking different, picking better. So
Yeah.
yes, but we're all here to support one another. Nobody's getting out alive, and we're all here to first to for service to others.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to see that, but not everybody's going to make it to new earth either. So
Yeah.
that's okay too. We've got to lock arms with the like-minded. That's it. We can't, like, you're talking about the other day about the school and stuff like that. And I have, I've picked my own sort of things that I want to challenge. And I have other people say, well, are you fighting the carbon tax? You're doing this or that. I don't know what to do. I've got a couple littles at home. And I said, well, for one, just breathe. And for two, let the answer come to you. You don't
Yeah.
need to challenge the property tax system like I am.
Yeah.
Maybe you make sure that what's going on in your kid's school is appropriate. Maybe that's your role.
Yeah.
And it's not, one isn't better than the other. It's just what resonates with you. Where can you put in the time with keeping your vibe high?
Where are you called to? That little voice that says speak up. Where you just have to stop and listen. Where should I be speaking up? Right? And it's
Exactly.
all individual. It's all individual. What is good for you is like I just met with my girlfriends yesterday. Oh my God, I had so much fun. We went out for crepes and holy moly, I just love all these warrior women, which, they're just beautiful women. And it's such a joy to be with these women, and each of them are doing something different. But you could see some of them will go, oh, like they kind of feel like, oh, should I be doing that? And it's like, no, you should be just doing you. We gather, we discuss things. One's, trying to get her credit card wiped out. One's doing something else. One's doing, it's like, it's just such a joy to watch every individual woman doing what's right for their path, you know? It's
Yes,
empowering.
exactly.
It's empowering. Like here we are today, like sitting on this podcast, talking, having a nice conversation, and where it lands, who knows? And, it was very interesting. I must say, I had a bit of a reflection and the other day when I was talking to you, and those little voices that come to you that say that you're not enough, or and I remember for years, probably in my 40s, because yeah, maybe in my 40s, I was saying, I was always afraid of judgment, right? Judgment always counted, like how everyone probably has a word, it kind of pops up and goes boom, judgment. And I told myself a story that's because my mom left, and then I was raised by my father and my grandfather, and I had to step up, and I felt like the whole community was against us. I didn't feel any support. I felt my dad was falling apart, my Pepe was falling apart, I was 12. Like I just felt that eyes were on me. And I remember even being in school. And do you remember the French teacher, Mr. Hicks?
Yeah. Monsieur X.
Mr. Hicks? Do you remember him?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Hicks, I think he might have been gay too. I don't know. He was such a sweetheart, and he would stop me in the hallway and he would bend down and look at me and say, "Are you okay? Like, are you okay?" Like, there wasn't very many people that I came across when I was going to school that really took a notice to see me, to see I was struggling. And he did, right? Um, because like school was fucking hell for me, absolute hell. Art class was my favorite thing to do in the whole world. Everything just felt so heavy, and that was because I had so much responsibility at home. So I just felt judged. And, you know, as I was growing up, I think a lot of times, because I was a very shy little girl in school, which probably people wouldn't, you know, think of me as this, I was a very sweet child, very growing up. Like my mother even said, I was like a little mom, born to be a mom, just like very responsible, quiet, looked after everyone, and
Yep.
just took on that role. But, you know, it's interesting because I'm really working with my language and my stories. And I understand that there is ancestral trauma that's passed down through generations. I do understand that I am here to dissolve that, to stop it. And I already have. I know that in so many ways. But when you said that to me the other day, it stopped in my tracks. And what you said to me goes, Lorna, that might not even be your fucking trauma. And it just stopped me in my tracks. And I just, like, I felt that on a visceral, it brings up tears in my eyes. I felt that on like a core, just to actually look at it, to actually ask the question, to sit with it, to go, wow, wow, you know, like that could be something that I've carried on. And so now I have the opportunity in that moment to readdress that story and look into that and just, you know, it's almost like, you know, the shadows, and you just turn on a light, you just light a candle and it
Yes.
goes away, but it can't go away until you acknowledge that it's there, you know. So that was a real big gift from you to me the other day, just, and it stopped me in my tracks. And, you know, that's the whole point. Okay, that's my whole a thought process about planting seeds, and this planting seeds of intention, because there are these times in our life, you know, it's like sometimes a lot of stuff is just white noise, and, you know, you regurgitate it over and over and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, when it's ready to be heard, you'll hear it, you know, that vibration, that frequency, that divine timing of when you need to unfold that, when you need to witness it, you need to see it, you need to dissolve that, you know. And that was one of those moments, and it was just a beautiful moment. And I still haven't worked through it because you know, life and kids and all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to know that that was a really pivotal moment in my life, just to go, like, you know, to acknowledge that, ooh, I felt that like a tuning fork. Boom.
Well,
It just hit
well,
me.
I think we're all here to not only support one another, but to bring value. And, you know, is this stuff, can't it just be acknowledged and let it go? You know, because if it is indeed ancestral, a person may never figure out exactly why, you
Yeah.
know, but we can sit within and just lovingly let it go.
Yes.
Let it
Yes.
go. We can
Yes.
only hold one thought at a time. Our mind isn't a wall of TV screens where we got 50 things going. It's one thought. We get to choose what that thought is or isn't. We get to choose it. So yeah, there's a lot, but it's all a gift. And even when somebody does you wrong, you know, we can just send out love and ask source to look in the karmic behavior of these people and be done with it.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
I'm really excited about, like, I'm turning 59 on May the 4th. And I must say, I'm really enjoying my age, and I'm enjoying my ability to be an observer of my life, and to pause and to reflect, and maybe take a little bit of the drama and the emotion out of it at times, you know, although I love that too. I love that part of life. And because it's like getting sick. It's like, oh, you get sick and then you get better. And then you're like, wow, you really appreciate the better.
Oh,
um, you know, or You know, it's winter still here in Canmore. So we have beautiful, like it snowed the other day. It's gorgeous. It's like a black and white Christmas photo. It's like glorious. But it's like I was on the social media thing the other day and I saw this little farmhouse, probably in Switzerland or I don't know where it was, maybe Italy. And it was, of course, just one of these, you could hear the birds and, you know, the dogs were playing and there was a garden and there was a little house by a mountain and it was green. Oh my gosh, Sheila, it was so green. And I went, oh my God, it was like I was looking at this picture going, I'm drinking that green in. And I said to Seth, I said, oh, I miss green. I want to see green and just suck it up. And so, you know, the joy of us living here in Canada is we've got the seasons, we've got that, you know, the seasons, and you know, it's just beautiful in all its glory on every level, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we need the white, the black and white winter cold, and then we can appreciate the warm and we appreciate the cold. And you know, it's like, you know, it's
Yeah.
all life. But I'm really enjoying the I guess I think we're just getting more wisdom, you know,
Yeah.
and it feels good.
It feels good because you know what's the other side of that? Being pissed off and angry that you're fucking 59 years old? Like
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
No.
No.
My dad only made it, you know, till he was 43.
Oh
So
my God, he was 43, hey?
yeah.
Three
So
43. My dad was 59, but your dad was 43. My nanny was 49. Fuck.
so young, so young. So, you know, just be grateful. I mean, we're not here forever. And if you think about it, you know, I'll be 58. So you think we may have 30 more Christmases,
Yeah.
40 more Christmases if we're lucky. Not
I
that I
put,
really believe in all that shit anymore either, but you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Oh,
It's
like
so
we gotta,
interesting. I came across something on my Instagram and it actually hit a lot of people hard because it was like took a little girl and she was growing up, and then it showed a calendar of how many summers you have or how many years you have, and it's really not that long. And it's interesting when we're younger, we have no perception, we have no cognitive realization of the finite, you know, I don't even know how to explain this, like how short our time here is and what are we going to do with it, and like sure we're going to have, we got to have balance, but you know, where are we spending our energy and our time?
but I think that's because too that not only is our memory wiped before we choose to come here, but
Yeah,
our parents also forgot who they were. So they're just going by what their parents taught them. They're just trying to teach us the same thing. Now, when I was young, I was very intuitive and I was kind of not the outcast of my family, but well, a black sheep or I'm not a sheep, but you know, just the different one in the family. And they had no idea how to deal with me or work with me.
yeah.
And then once my dad was killed in his logging truck accident, that spark left me. And now we're distracted and we're, yeah. So it's always there. It's just a matter of if we're going to slow down enough to pay attention to it, slow down enough. But some people never do. So I think we're super grateful. I'm super grateful to for everything that I've been presented with and everything I've overcome and the things that are yet to come. I quite often think of this as a game. We're in the matrix. So how do I make the game benefit me? So if you think of like the Mario Brothers, which is probably the last video game I ever played, you know, you can there's power-ups throughout the day. There's knowledge throughout the day. There's little treasure you can grab throughout the day. But you gotta stay on your path in order to see these things. You know, you get distracted and off you go because you're whatever. It's there every day. It's there in the birds that
I
are, you
hear
know, oh
the
my
birds.
God.
I know
I
there's
look down, I've got a gaggle of ducks down here. You know, they've decided our beach is their home. So
yeah.
I've been they've been trying to, on our bird feeder even, they're trying to fly up and land on the bird feeder and eat the sunflower seeds. So I'm throwing sunflower seeds over. Probably get mad at myself because they're breeding nothing but duck shit on the beach now. Oh, well, whatever.
Oh, you know what Seth said the other day? Oh my God, because I have so many birds in the front yard. He goes, that tree's gonna turn into a birch tree, Mom. There's so much shit on it. And then John the other day, he's like, there's a lot of bird shit out there. I go, yep, there is a lot of bird shit. And I'm just smiling. I'm like, yep. But the fact that Seth said it's going to turn into a birch tree, he is so funny. I was just like, you are the coolest kid, man.
He is the coolest kid.
He is the coolest
Why
kid.
would he be? He's got the coolest mom.
Oh, you're so sweet. I find when my nervous system, when you say that, slow down, and it's so funny because people our age, you know how people our age always, it seems to be one of the things that people start at our age start talking about birds. It's like, oh, I saw this bird, and then I'm watching the birds, drinking my hot coffee, watching the birds, and they're fighting and they're arguing and they're chatting, and I'm just enjoying those moments. I notice that even like if my nervous system gets kind of really ramped up, I'll just go outside and watch ants, watch the bees, like go down to the smallest thing and just watch it, like spiders. I started befriending spiders to go,
Yeah.
wow, just watch this spider and it's, spinning a web and wow, what a miracle. Or just watch ants, or like something very, very simple. And it just feels so good. It feels so good just to pause and enjoy the beautiful birds, like the beautiful birds that are coming from you right now. And like the wind is blowing in your hair a little bit. Look at you. You look so beautiful. I got to be outside. I should be outside.
Yes, well, we should wrap this up. We've been almost an hour, but I will say I made friends with the spiders too, and like my house is just one big tree to them, and they would once in a while I would come out of the sliding doors and there'd be a web in front of the door, and I'm like, okay, look at you guys, you cannot, or okay, this story is about my front door. So I've got two doors in the front, like French doors, I guess, and she had made a web over the door that we use every day. And so I picked her up and I said, you can't put a web in front of this doorway. Okay. And I put her down on the ground. I said, you can go over here on this door. That's fine. So the next morning, she had made her way back up onto the other door, and her web went to right of the middle of the frame and completely on the right side door where she stayed all summer and fall till she, I don't know, hibernated or died or whatever. Yeah. So they will listen. I will share the space. There's no problem. But this part is mine and you need to stay over there. And I'm not shitting you. It works.
That is so amazing, Sheila. I just love it. I love the fact that yeah, I love the spiders now too. They're making me so happy. Everything's everything. And you're right. They can hear you.
I don't save flies. I've told Source I'm not saying flies are yucky to me. Ticks, no.
Yeah.
And wasps are negotiable.
Yeah.
But no, not ticks and not fucking flies. So if you want them to live, you keep them out of my house.
Yeah.
Out of my hair, out of my dogs, everything. So, but I want to thank you for asking me for coming on again. I appreciate your time, your wisdom, and your passion for what you're doing. And I hope I provided some value here today for yourself and everyone. And we're all here to support one another, and everybody brings value. So those that want to hear it will hear it, and those that don't, that's okay.
I know. Thank you so much for showing up again. I'm looking forward to the next time that we get together.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too.
And happy birthday for May 4th.
Oh, I'm so excited.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, I know. May the 4th be with me. Mwah.
You're a huge force, Lorna. Don't ever forget that. everything that happened in our past lives, whatever a person believes, and especially in this one, has prepared us for this exact moment in time. So thank you for sharing your gifts, which are presents in this present. So love you so much.
Love you too, girl.
Okay.